Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be taking a post-fight look at the fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Mario Barrios. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so the big fight just wrapped up between Gervonta Tank Davis and Mario Barrios. Man, that was a good one. That was a good one. It's not always true that the build up leads up to the hype, that everything that we hope that a fight is going to be, that's what it turns out to be. But that's exactly what this one was, man. Great performance by both men out there, and an extra special performance goes to the winner, Gervonta Tank Davis. Man, he showed up big. He went out there, he dared to be great, continually moved up in divisions, did not take an easy fight. History is just absolutely packed full of fighters who move up in weight. They want the recognition of moving up in weight. They want the recognition that comes with multiple world titles and multiple weight classes. They want all those accolades. They want people to be able to say those things about them, but they don't take the hardest fights. They get up there when they get to those other divisions. When they move up, they kind of cherry pick. You know, that's the thing about boxing, because they have multiple belts in each division. Guys will move up and they'll pick and choose who they want to fight so that they can throw that world title next to their name. But this was not an easy fight for Gervonta Davis. He moved up, he fought Barrios. The man did not have a lot of name appeal, and he was a very skilled, very tough fighter. Tank went out there and chose in many ways, and he handled business and stopped him in the 11th round, man. Highly impressive performance. And when I take a look at it, it played out in a lot of ways like I thought that it would. Okay, this was not an easy night at the office by any means for Davis. You know, you look, the fight starts out early, and in my opinion, throughout the first 4 rounds, Barrios won that fight. I didn't give him all 4, probably gave him 3. At the very least, you had to give him 2, but probably gave him 3 of the first 4 rounds. He was keeping the fight at the distance that he wanted. He was able to land. I mean, neither man was landing big. Neither man was landing much, but I think Barrios was landing the more telling shots. A lot of Tank shots were coming up short. You could see right away that height and that reach, they were playing a factor. Tank's trying to get his shots off. He's trying to land the jab. He's trying to land the counter right hook. He's trying to work the left hand as a lead or behind the jab. All of it's falling short for the most part. I mean, he's landing little shots here and there, but basically he's not able to get the work done. Barrios was backing him up. I mean, how often do we see that? We know Tank is the aggressive fighter. We know Tank is the man who comes forward. Barrios was backing him up for the first 4 rounds. And then in the 5th round, everything changed. The 5th round is when the fight took its turn. Now, ultimately, let me say this. I think this fight, as far as Tank is concerned, I think this fight had 3 big moments in it. And the 5th round was the first of those big moments. And that's because Tank changed the complexion of the fight. He started to walk his man down. He started to walk forward. He started to apply the pressure to Barrios. And he didn't do it by punching. He didn't do it behind the jab. He didn't do it behind big power shots. He just started to walk forward and close the distance. And then once he got into the range that he wanted is when he started to land his hands go. That's when he started to land his shots. That was a huge turning point in the fight. He was losing, in my opinion. He was losing those first 4 rounds. Even if it was 2-2, the fight wasn't going the way he wanted. He was losing in those first 4 rounds. So it was on him to make the change. Right? Barrios, things were going the way he wanted. He could have played that out for 12 rounds. He would have been happy. Probably would have escaped with a decision. So it was on Tank to make the change to the way the fight was going. He went out there in the 5th round and he did it. That was a big moment. I may have don't get me wrong, it wasn't like at that point he started shutting Barrios down or anything. I may have even gave Barrios the 6th or the 7th round. I don't quite remember. But at that point, the complexion of the fight changed. Next big moment is when we go to the 8th round. Tank lands 2 big punches, scores 2 big knockdowns in this round. One was with a leaping right hook. Right hook, he was trying to get it off. He was using his right hand more. I like that, by the way. I've been a little bit critical, or one of my critiques about him in the past has been he's a little bit too dominant with the left hand. Even though he's got like a really good left hand or right hand. We've seen him use a really good right hook. We've seen him use a really good jab, but I just don't think he used it frequently enough. And I thought that when he came out in this fight that he was using a little bit more. So I like that, including that first knockdown in the 8th round. Comes out, leaps with that right hand, bang, lands a big right hook, knocks Barrios down. Then he follows up. He's trying to get out of there. Ends up scoring another one with a big left hand. And he tried to get him out of there in the 8th round, man. I mean, Gervonta put everything into it. He was going out there. He was trying to land as many big shots as he could. He's following him all over. He's cutting off the ring. He's going to the body. He's trying to land shots. Barrios makes it to the end of the round. And to be honest, by the end of the round, he looked a lot better. He looked like he had recovered by the end of that round. right? So that's what marks the second big moment in the fight, because he tried to get him out of there, couldn't, and in my opinion, got gassed. And I say that because you look at that ninth round, Tank came out for that ninth round and he basically took it off. Barrios won that one hands down. Tank didn't do much work at all. I thought he was conservative of his energy after he basically blew himself out, going for that stoppage in the 8th round, and he wasn't able to get it. So that was big, that he went for it, didn't get it, was able to compose himself, get through that, take that 9th round off, feel comfortable, be patient. He didn't panic, didn't rush his work, believed in his cardio, believed in his preparation and his training, made it. Then we get to the next and the final big moment in the fight in the 11th round, when I thought he really cranked up the pressure. In between the rounds, Floyd Mayweather was over there talking to him, telling him that he needs to put his foot on the gas, telling him that, he believes in him, but at the same time, he thinks he's behind in the cards. All of these different things. It was, the announcers were talking about the exchange between them. I mean, Floyd was in there giving him advice, telling him what to do, basically talking over Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, telling him what he thinks he needs to do. I get it. I mean, that's Floyd, right? He's heavily invested, financially, emotionally, just as a friend, whatever, in Gervonta Davis. He was in there giving him, the advice and the coaching that he thought he needed in between those rounds. All that being said, that's exactly what Gervonta Davis did. He came out there in the 11th round, man, and he just cranked up the pressure even more. You could see it. He fought like a man possessed. Came out there and started landing the big shots. Came out there and landed a beautiful body shot, which eventually led to the finishing sequence, which was a overhand left to the jaw, which eventually got Barrios out of there. Got that fight stopped, right? At the end, buckled down, bit down on his mark guard, and closed the show, man. Great job. Great job. I think when we look back at the career, I mean, obviously he's only 26 years old, right? But I'm talking so far into the future. But when we look back at the career of Gervonta Davis, so far I see two big fights on his resume that have really, in my opinion, changed him, helped him grow and develop as a fighter. Number one, and I spoke about this in the film study video that I did on him, was the fight against Gamboa. I thought that fight was huge. Gamboa was a very experienced, very well-schooled veteran coming in that fight. We were still concerned about Gervonta Davis's cardio going into that fight. Was Gamboa going to be able to take him into the deep waters? He went into the deep waters, persevered, and won. And now we got this fight. This fight, he moves up in weight against a very skilled, bigger man, went in there, lost the first four. If the first 4 rounds, if this was like an amateur fight, right, and you're just gauging, it's like 3-round fight, 4-round fight, lost that portion. Remained patient, changed it up, made adjustments, came back, ended up getting the stoppage. That's huge for a young guy. He's only 26 years old. That's big stuff. The amount of confidence that's going to get him, where that takes him going forward, great stuff. Great stuff. So awesome performance by Gervonta Davis. Let me know what you guys think. Were you just as impressed as I was with the performance that he put on? And what's next? Is he going to stay at 140? Is he going to move down to 135? He's got a lot of options available to him right now.